Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a hidden circulatory system that is literally the foundation for our longevity and daily energy. We spend so much time talking about the heart, the lungs, and the gut, but we're totally ignoring a biological network that dictates our vulnerability to chronic disease, inflammation, and, aging itself. Let's get right into it.
So think about this. What if the real secret to a long, vibrant life isn't just about hacking your blood pressure or your cholesterol? What if your vitality actually relies on a hidden river flowing right through your body? We're talking about a system that quietly clears away toxins, neutralizes threats, and delivers those absolutely crucial immune responses. Because if this river stops flowing, cellular waste just piles up, and that sets the perfect stage for illness.
Here is our map for today's explainer. First, the secret river. Then, the walking aquarium. Third, stagnation and inflammation. After that, medical evidence and therapies. And finally, daily habits for flow. Let's jump in.
Section 1. The Secret River, our hidden system.
It's wild, but this vital system is actually the biggest blind spot in standard medical checkups today. You go to your doctor, they check your blood pressure, they listen to your heart, but there's no standard cuff to measure your lymphatic flow. Dr. Gerald Lamole hit the nail on the head when he called it the Cinderella of medicine. It's totally underappreciated, quietly scrubbing the floors, taking out the cellular trash, and doing all the heavy lifting for our immune system, while the cardiovascular system gets all the glory. But the lymphatics? They're managing our fluid balance, absorbing dietary fats, and acting as the main transit network for our white blood cells.
Just look at this incredible, vast transport network permeating nearly every single organ. Now, unlike your blood circulation, which runs in a continuous loop powered by a massive pump, your heart, the lymphatic system is strictly a one-way street. It gathers up all the fluid that leaks out of your capillaries into your tissues, scooping up large proteins and cellular debris along the way. Then it slowly transports all that waste upward, filtering it through hundreds of lymph nodes before finally dumping it back into your bloodstream right up near your collarbone.
Moving on to Section 2, the walking aquarium, our internal ocean.
Think of your body as, a walking aquarium. A clean, flowing system equals vitality, but a stagnant one? That just breeds chronic illness. The fluid sloshing around outside your cells is basically an internal ocean, and it's actually remarkably similar in composition to seawater. If your lymph is flowing strongly, that water stays pristine. Toxins are quickly flushed out, and immune cells can rush straight to the site of an injury. But if that flow slows down, the whole environment turns into a murky swamp. Inflammatory waste gets trapped, healing is severely delayed, and that chronic stagnation is actually a major driver of age-related diseases.
And get this biological cleanup process even happens in our brains every single night to stave off neurodegenerative diseases. It's absolutely fascinating. For the longest time, science didn't even think the brain had lymphatic vessels. But recent discoveries revealed what's known as the glymphatic system. When you're in deep sleep, your brain's glial cells actually shrink down. This allows cerebral spinal fluid to just wash rapidly right through the brain tissue, flushing out neurotoxins, like the beta-amyloid plaques heavily linked to Alzheimer's disease. Your brain literally washes itself while you sleep. How cool is that?
Section 3. Stagnation and inflammation. When the river stops.
So, what actually happens when this river stops flowing? Well, you can actually monitor your own tissue consistency for early warning signs of a clogged system, long before chronic inflammation sets in. You might feel this subtle, kind of weird sensation of heaviness or tightness in your arms or legs. The tissue itself might even feel a bit firmer to the touch, losing its normal softness. Or maybe you wake up with morning stiffness, or just hit this wall of unexplained lethargy and brain fog. These aren't just normal signs of aging. No way. They are red flags that your internal street sweeper is falling way behind, leaving inflammatory molecules just lingering in your tissues.
Plus, current research is showing us how lifestyle choices, gene expression, and sex differences actually make certain people way more vulnerable to this inflammatory stagnation. For instance, autoimmune diseases are overwhelmingly more common in women, and science is now showing us why. Macrophages, those vital immune cells that use the lymph system to travel around and gobble up cellular debris, exhibit massive sex-dependent differences. As women age and estrogen production drops off, the ability of these macrophages to clear out waste plummets, and that potentially drives higher rates of chronic inflammation and autoimmune responses.
All right, Section 4, medical evidence and therapies, restoring lymphatic flow.
When we look at the clinical data, specifically from the Swedish SBU Alert report, we see that combining standard compression therapy with manual drainage yields much better immediate reduction in swelling, though, to be fair, more long-term study is needed. Now, compression therapy on its own using elastic sleeves or firm bandages, is the gold standard. It has super strong scientific backing. But when you add manual lymph drainage, which is this highly specific, gentle skin massage that physically pushes fluid into functional lymphatic vessels, patients often see a much faster, way more noticeable drop in swelling right after the session.
While both of those methods absolutely help clear blocked pathways, the clinical evidence really emphasizes one crucial point: start treatment early. You want to start exactly when those minor signs of tightness first show up. The SBU Alert Report looked at post-breast cancer patients who had their axillary lymph nodes removed. Because their lymphatic railroad was essentially interrupted, fluid backed up. So the big takeaway from the medical literature here is, do not wait for massive swelling. Intervening when the tissue merely begins to feel a little stiff is exactly what allows these physical therapies to stop the condition from becoming a permanent fibrotic issue.
And finally, Section 5, Daily Habits for Flow, Natural Biology Control. Remember how we said you don't have a lymphatic heart pump? Well, that means you have to create the flow yourself. Let's break down how you can naturally do this through your diet, rebounding, deep breathing, and massaging specific reflex points. First up, a Mediterranean diet. It gives you flavonoids that literally protect and dilate your lymphatic vessel walls. Next, rebounding. Just bouncing on a mini trampoline uses gravity to push fluid right up through those one-way valves. Then, deep belly breathing. It literally changes the pressure in your chest cavity, acting like a vacuum to suck lymph fluid up from your lower body. And finally, physically massaging the neurolymphatic reflex points on your body actually helps clear out stagnant energy and built-up toxins. But here is a totally surprising fact from Dr. Lamole. Even just having a good laugh, humming, or singing naturally stimulates your relaxation response, which instantly opens up your lymphatic vessels. He points out that chanting sounds, like saying Om, actually increase the production of nitric oxide in your vessel linings. And nitric oxide, it causes those vessels to dilate, opening them wide and dramatically improving your lymphatic drainage. So yeah, simply finding a reason to laugh out loud or sing at the top of your lungs in your car is a legitimate, scientifically backed longevity hack. No joke.
Which leaves us with one final, vital question to think about. Will you let your body's secret river stagnate into a swamp, or will you take action today to keep it flowing toward a longer, healthier life? The evidence is incredibly clear here. Preventing chronic disease, keeping a swift immune response, and protecting your brain from aging, they all depend on the health of your lymphatics. Whether you tweak your diet, do some deep breathing, or just take a minute to stretch and laugh today, you hold the power to keep your secret river flowing. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope you leave today ready to take full control of your daily vitality.